For joining us. I'm glad that you decided to listen to me. Thank you again. And today we're going to talk about vocabulary, as you can see. So we're going to talk about words, and the main focus today is on word formation. So why do you think we're going to discuss it, word formation? Yeah, of course, because it's one of the tasks at the Russian state exam. And it's very important when you learn English, when you learn languages. So that is why we're going to discuss it today. So let me introduce myself. I've graduated from Moscow State Linguistic University as, as a specialist with 2 languages, Japanese and English. Then I continued my education in Moscow State Pedagogical University, in master program, Modern Technologies in Teaching English. And now I'm the member of the Institute of International Education at Moscow State Pedagogical University. And I've also passed some exams. One of them is TKT CLIL, as you can see. And I'm really interested in teaching vocabulary, teaching words. I'm really interested in vocabulary acquisition. It means I study how languages are learned, how vocabulary are learned, and this is the main focus of our webinar today. Okay, so now you know some information about me, and I want to know some information about you. Could you please type in the chat your name, where are you from, and what is your hobby? As you can see, one of my hobbies is sleeping. Of course, I'm joking a little bit. So can you just write some words about you? Okay, I see Moscow, Donetsk, right, singing. Okay, again from Moscow. Wow, not from Russia even. Okay, a lot of people from Moscow. Thanks for sharing with us. Oh, yeah, a lot of people like studying languages. Yeah, great. Thank you. Nice to see you all. Okay, let's continue. So what are we going to discuss today? Yeah, our plan for today is to understand what it means to know a word, and of course, how to complete word formation exercises successfully. So I will give you some strategies, some techniques, and I will try to explain you some things maybe you have not already known. And then we will move on slightly into strategies and the different ideas about vocabulary learning. So how to learn it, how to study words, and I will give you some resources you can use in your own learning. Okay, so I think everybody understands that the word is a complex thing. Yeah, first of all, it can serve different functions. It can belong to different parts of speech. Sometimes it even can sound the same but has different meanings. Words can be combined. Words have a variety of forms, and they can be made up of one or more morphemes. Yeah, this one, look at this word. Morphemes, it's quite important for us today. So morphemes, it's one of the part of the word. It's like suffix, prefix, and even in Russian, we have this word morpheme, morphema. Okay. So what does it mean to know the word? Of course, if you recognize the word in the speech, if you hear the word daughter, so maybe you know this word. But also, you should know how to write it, because the word daughter, the written form is quite different from its spoken form. Also, it's very important to understand different meanings of the word. So, for example, you have the word get, and we have different collocations like get a letter or get to the restaurant. Yeah, and here we have different meanings. Get a letter is like to receive the letter, and get to the restaurant, again, so you come to the restaurant or visit the restaurant. The other thing you should understand is how to define its part of the speech. So, for example, if you meet the word weak in the sentence, I don't know, I have some weak points. Weak is an adjective here, adjective, прилагательное. Or if you see the word weakness, so people have different weaknesses, we can say, and weakness here is a noun, существительное. The other idea is about pronunciation. So if you can pronounce the word properly or not, it's very important. So as an example, we can talk about the word think or sink here. So this sound in the beginning, sometimes students don't like this sound, so be careful with it. And the last idea, but of course not the least, is that you can use this word correctly. It means that you know how to use it in the context. My favorite example is about the word decide and the word solve. So if you know the word decide, in Russian it has the meaning решать, and you can decide to do something, for example. But if we talk about problems, unfortunately, you can't, if you try to translate it from Russian into English, you cannot say decide a problem. You should say solve a problem. And also think about different prepositions, how to change the form of this word again. So if you can use it correctly, it means you know the word. Okay, let's a little bit move on. But why is it important to do some word formation exercises? Why is it important to understand how to make them, how to complete them? Okay, what is, so, and now you can see some statistic information. And according to the statistics, you can see that only 20 prefixes help you to understand 97% of words in English texts used at schools. That means that if you know these 20 prefixes and you can use them, so you can understand mostly all text which are used in the English textbooks. And so what is important to know? Yeah, we have roots of the words. So for example, here it's the word read, and we can make another word. So if you know that, if you, for example, meet this word unreadable in the text and you don't know the meaning, but you see this un, so you can guess that un, the meaning of un is not. So when you have unread, it's some negative meaning. Then you can also see able, this unreadable, yeah? And you think, okay, this one means that you can do something. And then you can understand from the context, you can deduce this meaning from the context, that unreadable is something which you cannot read. Okay, so let's move on to word formation exercises. How do they look like? And now you can see the task from the demo version of Russian state exam for this year, 2020. And we can see that it consists of different sentences, and they have gaps, and you have to complete them. Yeah. So you have the whole text, the sentences are connected, and on the right side you have the words, and you have to transform it in order the sentence should look like correctly, and this word should be correct. Yeah, this is the main idea of this exercise. So you have 6 gaps, and if you complete them successfully, it means that you have done this exercise. Okay. So again, if we talk about exams, we should understand the main requirements for them. And you can see these requirements for the Russian state exam. So when we talk about words, vocabulary, so students should know, pupils, we can say, should know different affixes to make nouns. Yes, read, these, miss, and others. Also, they should know how to make nouns, yeah, some of them. And also you should know how to make adjectives. Another one is how to make adverbs, and also don't forget about negative prefixes, an, in, im, and other. So again, nobody asks you to know everything, really. You should only know these prefixes and suffixes and other endings. Again, you can see it. You can find these requirements on FIPI website and check it, but also you can use it from my presentation. I promise this is correct. Okay, so what is the main strategy how to complete these exercises? The first idea is that you have to read the text, the whole text carefully. It means that you don't read the first sentence and do quickly the task. Yeah, you should open the gap at this time. No, first read the text. Why should we do this? When you read the whole text, you understand if this text has a negative idea or more positive. Do you have the text about different people or only about one person? Yeah, I will tell you later how it can help you. Then, again, you return to the sentence with a gap. You read it once again, and you should understand what part of speech you should use. This is the main idea of the exercise. So pay attention to the words which are before this word and after this word. So before this gap, I mean, yeah, because you don't have the word in this gap. So think how you can change the word. Again, what ideas come to your mind. And don't forget that sometimes we can add two morphemes, or we can change the meaning from negative to positive. Yeah? So as an example, I use here the word believe. You can make the word believable, and then you can also add the negative unbelievable. Okay, and the next idea is just read the sentence once again and check if everything is correct. Continue with others, with other gaps. Do the same steps and continue till the end. Then, when you have completed it, read the text once again. Check, is everything okay or not? Don't forget about spelling. So, how did you write it? Is your writing correct or not? Okay, I think we can continue. So, and the next, I want to show you some of my mind maps. I created them myself. I used some websites, but of course you can make your own if you want, but you can use mine. So the first one is about nouns, and yeah, we have really a lot of suffixes which can make nouns. First of all, I would like to start with this er. Yeah, it means that if you have the word and you want to make the person, you can add er or or. So, for example, you have the word read, then you can add er and you have the word reader. So it's the person who reads, of course. Or invent, you can add or and you have the word inventor. So it's the person who invents, of course. So no special rule what to choose er or or. Just check it in the dictionary or remember from the texts only this way. Another suffix which can help you to make a profession, it's ist. This one is. So if you have the word, for example, science, you can make scientist. Yeah, it's the person who works in this scientific sphere. What about others? Other suffixes, really no special rule. Mostly they mean some abstract things like, for example, meeting, flexibility, all this kindness especially. But if we talk, for example, this word, acceptance. Yeah, so again, the words which are combined with different suffixes, they still have the same meaning of the first word which you used to make this another word. So think about it. Okay. Another one is adjectives. So yeah, you can see a lot of suffixes, really quite a lot. But don't be scared. All of them, mostly all of them, I think you know. You meet these words every day. So one is, for example, which is very easy to remember, is this suffix full. Yeah, again, it has the same meaning, like to be full of. So if you have beauty and then you add full, it means that the person is beautiful. So he or she is full of beauty. Or if you use the suffix less, it means that the person doesn't have something. Yeah, so if he helpless, so no help with him, or hopeless, no help. Yeah, this one I talked about it in the beginning when we had the word unreadable. So again, able or able, it means that you can do something. So for example, if you have the word drink and then you add able, so drinkable, it means that you can drink, for example, the water. The water is drinkable. Or accept, acceptable, it means that we can accept something. Yeah, it's acceptable. Also, this one is quite nice. Mostly is about nationalities or some, again, professions, like, for example, Mexico, Mexican, as you can see, history, historian, and all this stuff. Again, just check these words in the dictionary and notice them in the text. So pay attention to them when you read, pay attention to them when you speak, when you listen to other people, and definitely you will remember them. Okay, let's continue. Also, we have this adjective with negative meanings. Yeah, I think everybody knows this un. So when, for example, you have the word known, you can make it with a negative meaning and make it like unknown. So if, for example, the word is unknown, it means that you don't know this word. Or we have quite structural rule. So if you have, for example, the word which starts with R, like responsible, you should add ir, I-R, irresponsible. If the word starts with L, legal, so you should put only illegal. Also, if the word starts with M or with P, you should add im, impossible, or possible, impossible. But this one we meet very often. I think you will agree with me. And the next one is about adverbs. Here is quite easy. So you just remember this ly. So if you put it to the word, you can make an adverb ricci. So careful or carefully. Again, be careful here with spelling. So don't forget about this double L. Or it can have the same form of an adjective, like fast, fast. It doesn't change. But, you know, I can say that I've never really met any exercises in reality. I mean, in real exams when you don't need to change the form. But in some books, you can meet these exercises. So one day, maybe, you will really meet this word which you don't need to change. So you should know this. And the last one, but not the least today, is about verbs. So you can make the verb if you put this ICE or IZE and ZE and make from the word, for example, legal, legalize. Or you can put, for example, re in the beginning, and it will mean that you have to do something again, like write, rewrite, yeah, write once again. Or appear, disappear, this has the opposite meaning. It changes the meaning in the opposite side. So appear, but then you can disappear. And understand, misunderstand, again, it has also the opposite meaning. So if the person misunderstands, it means that he doesn't understand or he understands in the wrong way. Okay, I also forget to tell you that if you have any questions, please write them down and ask them later in the end of our webinar, because unfortunately now I cannot answer your questions just because I have to show you some information. Okay, let's continue. The next question you can ask me is how can we understand what part of speech we need? And this is the main important idea here. Yeah, if okay, you see the gap, you see the words, so you know some words, how to make them, but how can you understand what to do? And here we will have with you a little bit some exercises, and I will try to explain, and I ask you to write me some words which can be under these blue boxes in the chat. So the first idea is, if you have an article, or an, or it can be with adjective, so of course you will have a noun. So can you now please look at the first sentence? I'd like to make an with a doctor. Of course, maybe you know this collocation. To make an, what can you make? Okay, let's wait. What do you think? Yeah, right, definitely. You can make an appointment with a doctor. What about the second one? We're having an important on Thursday. What can you do with the word meet? Okay, thanks. Right, meeting, absolutely. Oh, you're doing great, you know. Okay, the second idea. If we have the word mostly in the beginning of the sentence, and after this word we have the verb, so we have the action, and then first word is a noun. Yeah, oh, you even don't give me some time to explain. Thank you. Yeah, right, researcher. Of course, you are absolutely right. The next one, if we have some words like my, his, her, it helps us to understand that the next word will be a noun. So what do we have here? I like her. Right, creativity, of course. The next one is about prepositions. Mostly it's about fixed structures, collocations. So here we have a lack of something. So what can we have a lack of? What do you think? I'll give you some time. Okay, right, responsibility, of course. And the next one, the last one here, which can help you if you have some numerals. It means 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, how can you count these words? And what do we count? Of course, we count nouns. What about the last one? There are 3,000 whom. Okay. Yeah, right, absolutely. 3,000 workers. Thank you. And also, I wanted to tell you that don't forget that nouns can be in plural form, like we had here with workers. Yeah, so first you have the word work. You need to open the bracket, yeah, complete this word. You change it into worker, but don't forget that we have 3,000. It means we have workers. Then, again, they can be in singular or plural form. What can help you? If you have an or one, of course, it's about singular form. Yeah, one worker, for example. If you have these, those, a lot of, many, it means that we have plural form, right? So a lot of, like 3,000 workers. Okay, I hope you will remember this. Let's continue. Now we are going to talk about verbs, yeah, how to make them. Of course, when we have imperatives, when we ask somebody to do this, and this word will be in the beginning, or it can be combined like here, think and do something. So if the sentence is not correct, what can we do with it? Okay, please type in the chat. Yeah, right, rewrite. Okay, thanks. The next one. When you describe an action, of course, verb is an action itself, and you should understand that if our restaurant, seafood, so what can you make? Yeah, sorry, I have here a mistake. Specializes in, it should be. I will correct it. The next idea is about to. If you have to, again, it helps you to understand that you have the verb. And here we have she didn't want to what? Okay, yeah, also be careful with the spelling, because with believe, don't mix these words, these letters, sorry, I see that somebody has made a mistake, I will not tell you who. And also don't forget about the changing of B, F and B. Again, if you write believe or believe with the wrong order of letters, so you will not receive the grade. And the next one, quite strange maybe word for you after auxiliaries. Really, in Russian, it will be вспомогательные глаголы. Yeah? So verbs we use when we make sentences, for example, will, is, or have, all this stuff. When you have them, it can help you to understand that you should use the verb. Okay, I will try to check what we have here with answers. Realize, realize, and release. Really not release, but realize. And also I should tell you that if you have here S and Z, do you know the difference? Why sometimes we have S, why we have Z? Can you type in the chat any ideas? Yeah, right. It's just the difference in these versions, like types of English, if it's British or American. And this is not a mistake. If you put realize with that or with us, it's not a mistake. So you can use them both. Okay, let's continue with adjectives. So how to understand it? Of course, we can use adjectives when we describe nouns. And even if you have here an, but then you have a noun, it means that you have to describe this word trip. Yeah? So here will be an adjective. So can you please write me what can we have here with interest? How can we change it, transform it? Okay, yeah, right, absolutely, it's interesting. It was an interesting trip. The next one, again, as in Russian, when we describe some nouns, we can use several adjectives. Yeah, and here you will have another one. She hates big and what clothes? Yeah, another adjectives. How can you describe clothes? Can you please think and type in the chat? How to transform the word bag? Yes, I see some right answers. Right, yeah. So baggy clothes. Okay, unfortunately, I saw the word begging. Unfortunately, now it's not this word. And the next one, after prepositions. Again, mostly when we describe nouns, we use again this. Oh, sorry, just one. Okay, maybe you saw. Sorry, my technical problems. What is this one? Yeah, various. Again, this word various, vary, this variety, really, I think it's almost in all exams. Yeah, I met it very often. The next one, when we talk about, again, you can use it after verbs, but of course it will be about nouns. The next one, uncountable. Yeah, right. And this thing I told you before that you can use sometimes two morphemes, but not here. Yeah, uncountable. But I think really Bradbury one uncountable literary words. So like you cannot count them. Maybe this word is also possible, really. But here they use the word countless. but this one, this word uncountably used also exists. Okay, let's continue. What can we make with adverbs? How can we make them? Yeah, when we talk about verbs, of course, we should use adverbs. Marija. So can you please write to me this one? Drive on those icy roads. How should we drive? Okay, right. Carefully. Absolutely right. Again, don't forget about double L. Unfortunately, if you write it with only one L, it's not right and you will not get the grade. The next one, in the beginning of the sentence, yeah, when we use to start the sentence, when we use this word, it can be also adverb. And I even see some right answers. Yeah, right, obviously. Of course, obviously you won't be needing my help. And someone has already known the next word. Yeah, when we talk about something and we have the word before adjective, and here is different. How is he different? He is totally right. And again, don't forget about this double L. Okay, thank you for your answers. Let's continue. Of course, I see that most of people has completed this task successfully, but again, some of you have made some mistakes, and I really understand that sometimes you just don't remember the word, you just forgot the word, and again, we are talking about exams, and this is very stressful period for everyone. So what can you do if you forgot the word, if you cannot understand what to do? Really, the tip is quite, I cannot say that it's easy, it's obvious. You follow the strategy again. The strategy with, I told you before, you read the task, you read the whole text, then you think about parts of speech. Then how can you make this part of speech? Yeah, remember we used these mind maps when we saw these different suffixes. Try to think what is more suitable for this word. Don't forget about these things like if it is negative or positive, if it's singular or plural, if we talk about nouns. Sorry. So again, try to guess. If you don't remember, you have no ways. Try to think, try to remember. Really, you have read a lot, you have listened to many different audios. You definitely know this word, because when these special people combine these exercises, they use only words you have already met in the books you've studied at school. So again, try to think, concentrate, focus, and then you will find the answer. Yeah, really don't understand everything, read again, but really it helps. Sometimes you just need time, and then the word can come to your mind, really. Okay, let's continue. You can sometimes tell me that, oh, it's so difficult. How can I remember all these words? Yeah, I know, but you know, learning itself, it's not easy. Learning is not, studying is not easy, and sometimes you have to spend time on these exercises. You have to work hard just to pass these exams. I think you know that if you want to complete all tasks at your different exams, you have to prepare. And but if you've completed a lot of exercises, you will definitely pass the exam. Really, I promise you. Okay, now the task is this exercise, this task about Stanley Park is from the last early exam. The exam which can be passed before the main exams, how to say. So mostly people can pass it in April or March. And now we have a chance to look at this and try to complete it. Okay, can you please write, for example, 26, then open the gap. 27, open the bracket. I give you some time. Try to complete. Okay, let's have a look what you have. Okay, yeah, I will try to help you a little bit. So the first one is about this place. Yeah, if you have this and place, definitely this one is a noun. So how can you describe the noun? Of course, with an adjective. Then the next one. It is one of the main sites to be explored by whom. It's about person or people, you should think. The next one, the land was used, and so how was it used? Yeah. Then the British decided to, of course, to do something. You need to use the verb. Then the next one, I think this one is quite difficult. A British politician who had recently been appointed. A noun we have here. And the last one, Stanley Park, is not the something of a landscape architect. Again, if you have of, it means that here you have a noun. So let's have a look at answers. And here you can see them and check this out because I see really a lot of answers. The first one, I think almost absolutely all people were right. Amazing. Yeah, amazing place. The next one, tourists. Then originally. And colonize, again, you can use with Z or S, governor and creation. Yeah, thanks for your answers. Okay, now you can understand if you can do it successfully or not. And if you still have some problems, okay, please check again if you understand how to do this, if you understand how to make this word, how to transform it. And my special tips, how to prepare for such tasks, yeah? When you read, when you work with a dictionary, so, for example, you meet the word cover, you can check in the dictionary how can you transform it. Then you write some, for example, endings, suffixes, prefixes, and other things, and you write these things, you connect it with different colors. Why is it important? Because you cannot make everything with the rediscoverable. Yes, maybe rediscover, no. So the words are quite strict in this combination. So just put them, try to connect only all words, only all things you can connect. So for example, here we have rediscovery or unrecoverable. Yeah, so even 3 things you can add to this word. The next one you can use is to make such tables or charts, and they can really look differently. So for example, from this one, you see how many words you can make really from the word take, and you put different things here, suffixes, endings, and then also try to make words. Okay, really a lot. The next one, again, one more chart for you, one more table. And here you can write, if you have some doubts with parts of speech, you can write first the part of speech, for example, noun, then complete this table. Again, adjective, complete the table, happiness, happy, and happily. Unfortunately, I don't know the word with verb with happy. It's make someone happy maybe, but not special verb. Or with the word predict, you can use predictably, predictable, prediction. Then you can use, can make unpredictable, for example. And again, write them in this table, learn them, work with them. Yeah, right, make happy. The next one is the thing I've used for this presentation. So you can make different word clouds, word mind maps. So for example, you have this agree, agreement, disagree, disagreement. And really, I like this one because it has a lot of examples. For example, the agreement was signed, I didn't disagree, our class game ended in a disagreement. So you can see how to use it in the context. Okay. The next idea to use is to make these prefix pockets, and you can play with your friends. Unfortunately, not now, only after this quarantine, but you can do it alone, or maybe with your sisters, brothers, or someone who is also studying English with you. And you create these pockets. You write down if it's an, re, miss, or other, and put here words, yeah. And if you're a kinesthetic person, so you like to touch something, so you can work with these words. It doesn't take a lot of time, so you can practice and check. Okay. And just common things for you to know. You have to read a lot. Yeah, this is the main idea we should know. Read a lot, and according to statistics, you have to read books which have has for you only 2 or not more than 5% of unknown words. So it means if you read that only every 5th line you have a known word. In this case, your reading is really profitable for you. Again, work with vocabulary books. Sometimes teachers call them dictionaries, but I think they are more vocabulary books. It's when you write your words, you make sentences, you, I don't know, work with dictionaries and write down some examples. Again, work with dictionaries, with corpuses, and don't forget that you have to use words. If you only write one word in your vocabulary book, it doesn't mean that you know the word. Try to use them, to implement them in your speech. And also the main idea is that revision is important. Again, if you use this word only once, it doesn't mean that you know the word very well. So use it and don't forget to revise it, read it, all this stuff. And system, do it in a systematic way. And in this case, it will really help you to know these words, to make your vocabulary bigger. Okay. And I hope you will not look like this. So yeah, one day before the exam you sleep, and one night before the exam you only start reading, doing something. So I kindly ask you, if you have to pass the exam this year, if you have to take the exam, so please prepare. You still have time, really. And so do your best to pass the exam. And I promised to show you some resources, and I will just show some print screens from these websites. You can open and do these exercises, do these tests, and just practice. So this first website, you see the link, then you will receive this presentation and you will be able to open this website. So you can do these tasks about word formation. This website also has another grammar exercises. So if you want to practice, not only grammar, with vocabulary also, you can practice. The next website is also, it has a lot of different things. Again, you can practice more with phrasal verbs or quantifies, prepositions, all this stuff. Then is a lounge. Here you can see that we have word formation for B2 exam, first certificate. And this level is, I think it's the same to this Russian state exam. So you can practice also. If your level is a little bit higher, you can start with advanced word formation and again practice. This website is quite nice, Flojo. Again, word formation and other exercises. Here we can see for FC or for other exams. Again, I will not tell you a lot. You will see it later and you will practice. And of course, if you have some questions, if you have some thoughts about this webinar, or just you have to share something with us, please welcome, write to our social network. It's the first one, or of course, don't be shy, you can write personally to me. The second one, it's my personal account on Instagram. And thank you for participation. It was quite nice to work with you. Thanks a lot. And if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat and I will try to answer them. Okay, thank you too. Okay, thank you. Welcome. Come to our next webinars. We will have them during the May with other teachers. So welcome. Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you too. Yeah, you're right. Full of something, it's full of beauty, for example. Beautiful. Okay, do we have to, I think it's right. Do we have to write in the blanks in capital letters or, yeah, understand the question. Again, so when you prepare for the exam, you have this, I will try to show you these rules, how to complete these words, because every year they try to change these requirements, and when you read the task, they write, okay, fill the gap with these capital letters or not capital, and just read the task. You will see the same, you will see definitely what you need to do. Could you send the links? Of course, yeah, you will receive the letter with this presentation and with links, and you will be able to practice. Mm-hmm. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so thank you for participation once again. Goodbye.